Welcome back to the Beer Mile podcast. This is a little bit of a unique one. Let me just say first, if you're not watching this on YouTube or on Spotify for the video version, you're going to miss out a lot in this episode. We have a guy named Emil Granqvist.
I think that's pretty good.
From Sweden, now living in Norway. And what better way to describe himself than, well, let's just ask him directly. Let's ask him directly. How would you describe yourself to someone who's like, what are you all about, Emil?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
So obviously a man of many talents.
A man of many talents. Emil, he's a 506 beer miler. He's one of the best orienteers in Sweden, working up that country rank.
The elite chain.
The elite chain. He's also a fast dude on the track. Studying, well, we don't even know what he's studying. He's studying to be a beast. Absolute boss chuggernaut. Make sure you're following him on TikTok to get some hilarious videos of him chugging beers. But we thought he fit the vibe that we're going for on this podcast.
Absolutely.
Because he sends it both on the running and in the saloon, maybe?
I guess. Yeah. What do you call it?
Sends it in the saloon.
The pubs.
The pubs. All right. Episode is sponsored by MANSCAPED. Once again, Emil talks a little bit about it. You know, you gotta have clean shaven legs, aerodynamic when you're running through the timber in order to maximize your wind resistance in orienteering.
Leave the pine needles on the trees, you know.
That's right. And you don't want to get your hairs. Oh, could you imagine getting your hairs caught up in the stickler bushes and getting?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how you would get like, what are those things that like stick to your clothes and
the little sticker ball things?
Yeah. I don't know what
called.
I'm sure like some herbologist or what do you call those people? Plant people. They'll chirp us, but
your weed man.
No, do you want to know? This is a fun fact for the listeners. So I think my dealer has a really interesting name. His name is Ham Bones Jones.
Ham Bones Jones.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if that's his real name.
Does your dealer pay federal taxes on that weed?
Absolutely not. That's why he's my dealer. That's why.
Oh boy. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Manscaped is sponsoring this episode of the podcast. I think Emil would endorse Manscaped. He didn't say explicitly, but manscaped.com. Use the code BeerMile with no space for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. All of your male grooming needs, good smelling needs, anything that you need to feel confident as a man. Manscaped.com. Use the code BeerMile. In this episode, Emil does a live Impossible Chug for us, which you just saw in that little montage reel. He teaches us how to do it step by step. You get his tips and tricks. We also talk about the Beer Mile, how he got into that, his orienteering, Beerienteering, which is like the Beer Mile combined with orienteering, and a whole lot more.
They just know how to have fun over on the other side of the pond.
They do. Sweden and Norway, two countries that I really need to get to because the people there are super friendly and fun to be around. Just good vibes all around. A group of guys that orienteer together and then go have some beers together sounds like a group that I want to be a part of. So you're going to love this episode with Emil, getting back into our, the name of our podcast, the Beer Mile podcast, a true beer miler right here. And you could say even more than just a beer miler, a lot more talented than that, more talented than we are for sure. So, and I'm repping the Norway jersey as a part of it.
Gang.
Oh, got the little Pity Vipers on there. And if you want more,
speaking of Pit Vipers,
speaking of Pit Vipers, if you want Pit Vipers, you can upload yourself doing the Impossible Chug if you master it. Head on over to Instagram and tag us at @the_beer_mile. Take a video of yourself doing the Impossible Chug. Learn from Emil. He describes it toward the end of the episode how to do it. If you put it up on there and you do it successfully, we're gonna pick someone to get a pair of Pit Vipers sent their way. So, and we'll send everyone that uploads something. We'll send you some merch. Yeah. So go to Instagram and upload your Impossible Chug and tag us. It's gonna be fire. Let's get into this episode with Emil. Pronounce your last name.
In Swedish, or like how I say it when I talk to English people?
Oh, give it to us both ways.
Okay, in Sweden I say Granqvist, but when I speak to English speakers, it's probably more like Granqvist or something.
Granqvist. Okay.
Yeah, it means like gran is this tree, like what is it called? Spruce, maybe.
Spruce tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spruce, and then kvist is branch. The spruce branch.
Oh,
Why are
Mr. Spruce Branch?
Why are European names so much cooler than American
That
names?
is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Sweden is like 90% forest, so we just use like nature names all the time. It's like South Stream and Granqvist. It's just from nature, everything.
That's so cool.
All right. Well, Emil Granqvist.
I feel like when folks came to the States back in the day through Ellis Island, they're like, no, that's too cool of a name. You're John Smith now.
Yeah. You're whatever's son. Robert's son.
Yeah.
Smith's son.
We have the son names too. That's really common.
What's like
all the son names?
Most generic Swedish name?
It's probably Svensson.
Oh, yeah.
And because Sven is just like it's almost like Swede son. So it's probably. But we have all this common Swedish name like Anders or Erik. They all have these son names: Eriksson, Andersson, Emilsson. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you can.
Well, I guess
choose
it. We can blame Sweden for that then.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So you're rocking the Swedish Beer Mile sweatshirt there.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. I've got the Norway Beer Mile tank on.
I love that.
Yeah. So how about tell the listeners where you're from and where you're living right now?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I'm originally from Nacka, outside of Stockholm, Sweden, the capital in Sweden. But in 2016, I moved to Norway to study. So now I've been living in Trondheim in Norway for 6 years now. So
do you feel more like you vibe well with Norway, or you feel more like Norwegian, or are you Swedish all the way?
No, I'm still Swedish, but I don't. I think my percentage Norwegian has turned up during the years, so maybe I'm like 34% Norwegian now or something.
What drew you to Norway?
I'm Swedish by heart.
Swedish by heart. Yeah. What drew you to Norway? Like, why did you choose to go to school there?
Mostly because of nature, I guess, and because of the running opportunities here. It's very beautiful with big mountains and skiing in winter. I do some cross country skiing, so that's really nice. And also it's a really good student city here, Trondheim. Mm-hmm. I have a huge university, and I think maybe 180,000 people live here, but it's like 30,000 students.
Wow!
So people just like come together here to study, and it's really nice.
So growing up, did you learn like both languages then, or did you have to learn when you moved to Norway? Did you have to like learn a new language? How did that work?
Yeah, well, the languages are very similar. Okay. Swedish people and Norwegian people understand each other, with a few like and what and can you translate that? But they understand each other pretty good. But maybe it took me like a couple of months in Norway to learn the words that differ the most. So now I understand every Norwegian accent, but I still speak with a very Swedish accent, but I change the words a bit just to get understood better.
Yeah. So how would you describe yourself? So we're having you on this podcast because you're a fast beer miler. You're really good at chugging beer. You are good at orienteering, cross-country skiing. So like, how would you describe yourself to someone who's like, what are you all about, Emil?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I think I like to do many different kinds of stuff, and I'm very energetic and physical. I like doing sports. I love sports. All of sports, like everything from football or soccer to running and skiing and climbing. Even I've started climbing now last years. like once every other week or something. I love being active.
Like growing up, what was your first sport that you seriously pursued?
It was orienteering, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I've been doing it all my life. It's not a huge sport in Sweden, but it's quite big. Since, as I said, we have 90% forest. The country is like covered in forest, so I think it's pretty natural to go out and run in forest more than on track or in the city. So
how do you like first get into actually competing with orienteering?
You start early. It's a family sport, so you just get brought by your parents when you're quite young. So I was brought to competitions from, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 years old, and then I started competing more seriously when I was 12, 13, maybe. So do they just when you're a young kid, do they just let you like get lost in the timber? They're just like, go get lost in the timber and see what happens? Or I'm assuming you're probably on like a pretty small course at that age, like very short course. Yeah, you in the beginning you keep to the paths mainly, but then you have a parent like following you in the beginning, and then the first time you run alone, you're maybe 9 or 10 or something, and they just let you off the hook bit by bit. Maybe just like go into the forest and look from a distance that you're all right, but then you're basically on your own after that. So what is your favorite? So and we'll put some videos in links in the description that you shared with us, and we'll have them playing in the background or something. But is your preference to do orienteering like in nature in the trees, or have you done some urban like in the city as well? And what do you like better? Yeah, I do both for sure. But my favorite is definitely in the forest. I like tough terrain with hills and uphill, downhills, and I like the forest. So I'm more of a forest runner, but I do sprints as well, as we call them when you run in the city on asphalt. I think it's fun too, but it's different. So the different types of orienteering, explain that to folks. Because I was looking at the I think like the European League, and it had all these different denotations as like a sprint versus, I think the other one's called long. Mm-hmm. What are the differences between those? Yeah. So the common thing is that you have a map, and you're supposed to get from point A to point B to point C. It's numbered though, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe up to 20 controls, we call them. But the sprint is in the city, and that's like 15 minutes of running on asphalt. But it can be stairs and park and sharp turns and stuff. So it's not like running on a track. And then the forest distances is everything from middle distance, we call it, at 35 minutes to ultra at 2.5 hours. But that's just in the forest. Got it. So are people in the USA, there is like orienteering US championships, but based on what I'm seeing, like looking it up, like not many people do it, and it's not well known at all, versus in Europe, it's way more well known and way more popular. So like, are the people that are the top in orienteering, like how fast are they in running without, navigation? Like what sort of times are these guys running? Because when I'm watching all the videos that I've watched, they look like super legit runners that are probably really fast on a track too, if they want to be. So like, how fast are some of the top guys? Yeah, that's a really good question. We get it a lot. Just a side note, the American and Canadian team, there are a few runners that are really good, but there are also like 50% of those teams are Scandinavians that has a parent or something back in Canada or America that just saw an easier way to get to world champs. So I have a really good friend here in Norway, and he just found out that he could be a Canadian citizen because of his grandparent or something. So he just got his Canadian passport, and now he's competing in the world champs in the Canadian national team.
It's funny. That's like the reverse.
That's the reverse of track and field, where people in the U.S. try to compete for their other countries. Yeah, but orienteering is the German reverse. Now. Yeah, exactly. The U.S. is the easy one to make.
So I'm Swedish, which is one of the absolute biggest orienteering countries, and I would probably be I have a good chance of running the world champs in almost every other nation except like Sweden, Norway, and Switzerland maybe. But in Sweden, I'm like, I don't know, 20 or 30. So
wow, that's so deep.
Way harder. Yeah. But okay, back running times. Obviously the best runners are really quick. The best orienteers are really quick at running too. So we've got, for example, Chris Jones. That's a guy from England. I think he has done like 28:20 or something in a 10K, and 63 half marathon.
Wow.
And then there's this other guy from Finland, Toppi Raitanen, who I have competed with since I was really young. We ran the junior world champs on each other, and I think he got the 8th place in Tokyo Olympics in steeplechase.
Wow. Okay. So very like fast runners then. Yes.
Yeah, the absolute best start. But the funny thing here is that the best track runners in orienteering aren't necessarily the strongest in the forest. So the guy who won the World Cup, Kasper Fosser, he obviously is a strong runner in track too. He did 8:06 on a 3K, I think. But he also got the gold medal at the sky running under 23 world champs. You know sky running, like trail running, but lots and lots of hills.
Right. Yep. That's very impressive. So how do you train, I guess? Do you just go like run trails? Or is there like specific training for the map part itself? Like is it like a lot of trial and error? Like, I don't know how you like train your brain and your mind to like find the shortest route. Or if you're just going out and like trial by error.
No, you have to train a lot on maps. Usually we do it when we're younger. We do it from age, as I said, age 8 to maybe 20. We do it a lot, like really a lot. But then I still do it like maybe 2 times a week. But some people do it every day, and people train very differently in orienteering. Some people are more focused on like the track and field running training, just running. Some people just go cross country skiing in winter and get a really good aerobic base, and it all seems to work. There seems to be very different approaches to it because it's so complex. The sport is so complex, so you can be good at many stuff and bad at some stuff, and you have weaknesses and strengths. But yeah, it all comes together.
So how did you first then get into beer miling?
In orienteering, we also have, as you guys have beer miles, we have beer orienteering as like an off-season activity. So you go out in the forest and someone creates 4 orienteering loops, short loops, and we do it exactly as a beer mile with 4 beers. And actually, it's much more fun than a beer mile because you get a bit. You can feel the alcohol during the race, right? So when you're 2 or 3 rounds in, you actually feel the alcohol, and you have to really, really focus on the map and try to get through. And I love it. That's great. So I've always done that since high school. We've done it maybe once a year, just like in off season. And I found out quite early that I was quite good at it. I learned how to chug, and then I was good at it. And at one of the biggest Swedish orienteering competitions, we finished with a beer orienteering. And there were a few guys from the Swedish Beer Mile team, like Marcus Living and those guys. They were there. And I guess they just spotted me and saw that I could chug. So they asked me if I wanted to join the Beer Mile later in the week. So me and a friend just joined the Beer Mile there. And I think we did around 6 minutes probably. But
for your first one,
I think it was like 3 or 4 guys in the Swedish team. So they were like, you have to come to the World Champs. And
it's a very good first time.
I actually tried it. I tried the Beer Mile one time before
okay.
A few years before that. But that was the first time I did it like competitively against good people.
Got it. So what year was that? Was your first one?
The first one was back in 2016, but the one I talked about was in 2018 maybe.
Got it.
So they were just going to the World Champs 2018 straight after, so I couldn't go to that one. But then they like hooked me in for next year, 2019 in Berlin.
Yeah.
So that's when I like, okay, I can be good at this, and started training some for it.
Yeah, you dropped a lot of time really quickly. So what was that progression? So going from like a six-ish minute beer mile to like what was your next beer mile, and then how fast did you run at that first world championship that you were a part of?
Yeah, I did a few beer miles that autumn, I think, just for fun with some friends, and I did one at 5:40, and then I understood I wasn't that far from the Swedish record, and then I practiced some more chugging, and I think the next time I tried it, I did 5:10, but we didn't count any spillage or anything. So and also we do these 330 mils, so it's a bit smaller amount of drinking. So it was very unofficial, but I understood that okay, I can beat Marcus, who was the Swedish best guy by then. And I went to the World Champs in Berlin and did 5:07, which was a PB, and got 4th place. So that was I was really happy with that.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a super fast track either. That was on that like crushed limestone gravel track. So that's a really fast time on that one. And since then, between like Norway and Sweden, you guys have gotten way faster as teams at the Beer Mile. Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like their depth is
the depth is
could
good.
Rival the United States too.
The depth is very good. You guys have a lot of just good chuggers that are just discovering the Beer Mile, and so like you pull these like orienteer guys into the Beer Mile, and they're all pretty good at it, like out of the gate. So I don't know. What do you guys think outlook wise? I guess. And who are you going to compete for going forward? Sweden or Norway, or you just pick which one is better for any given year, and you choose that team to join forces with?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely Swedish, like in core, but the thing was, after that Beer Mile World Champs, or before it actually in Berlin, I was talking to Nick McFalls, and he said like, why don't you bring in some Norwegian guys? They don't have a team. And I started talking with people here because I know people can chug and they do these Beerienterings, and I was like, this is a great thing to go to. Let's make a team. And me and these guys created the Norwegian Beer Mile team, which came to Berlin. And then it has become a huge thing here in Trondheim. So we do these Beer Mile races at least 3-4 times a year. And there's lots of people coming. So it's people love it. So I think we'll have a good team this year too.
So going back to the Beerienteering, when you're doing that, are you typically doing like 4 beers for that? Like what distance are the loops? Or do you do any like longer ones that are like more than 4 beers and several miles of distance?
No, it's usually 4 beers. That's the standard. But the competition time can be anything from 15 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on who has like put the course out. But once Jonas Andersson, who got 3rd in the Beer Mile World Champs now. He is a crazy dude. Once he pulled up at the start line with, you're supposed to have these 330 ml boxes, and he pulled up with a Swedish beer called Arboga 10.2 with half liters. So he drank 2 liters of 10% beer, and I think he got 4th or something, but he was fucked up afterwards.
Damn,
that's aggressive. Yeah, and that would be fun because you would, like, anyone who's done a beer mile, and if you do it in less than probably like 10 minutes, you really don't feel the beer during the beer mile because it just hits you afterwards. But yeah, if you're doing this course and it's like a 30-minute course, and especially if you're doing 10% beer, it's like you would be like stumbling and tripping over yourself and getting lost on the last loop or two. Like that's impressive. Yeah, he's a beast.
That's part of the game.
Do people ever DNF in like while they're running a Beerienteering loop?
If I have DNF'd?
And just like, have you seen people DNF and have to like walk it back to the start of the loop?
Sure. Yeah. like 70% of the people don't finish. They just
that's brutal.
Most people can't drink beers, and we do this since we're like 16, 17 years old, and there are girls in the game too, and they you drink 1 or 2 and 3, and then you maybe just walk around talking to people, and it's just a big turns into a big party.
Yeah, we've seen some of the footage of it. It's like, how many people would you say are in attendance for those?
So this was the video I sent you. Was at one of the biggest orienteering competition, and this was the final event just for fun, and all the people come there. So maybe I organized it once, and I put up a Facebook event, and I think it was 500, 600 people turning up to the party.
That's wild.
In the forest.
Man.
But not everybody does the Beerienteering. You saw people were standing just watching.
Just hanging out.
But that's still a fun event, man. Now I'm thinking like we should do this instead of the Beer Mile, or like at the Beer Mile World.
Do one.
Yeah, like the Beer Mile World Champs. We should make it like a multi-day event where like one day we'll do the Beer Mile, and then just everyone stays another day, and the next day we do Beerienteering. I think that sounds super fun. Yeah. Like I would. Yeah. I mean, we would get our butts kicked. Like the U.S. guys, we would get destroyed, obviously, because we wouldn't be able to figure out the maps as quickly as you guys. But I don't know, it'd be super fun to try that.
Yeah, for sure. We could come up with something. I love the word you put out, Beerienteering. I've never heard it before. I just call it beer.
Did you coin that? I don't know. I just
said it. Wait, what did you call it? Did you just call it beer orienteering, or did you combine it?
Yeah, well, we usually just call it Orienteering. It's Swedish, but in English, I guess we say beer o. Beer for orienteering.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know why I thought. I thought I heard it somewhere, but maybe I just started saying it. Beerienteering.
So how do you? One question I had around measuring the courses. How do you measure in minutes when, like, obviously everyone runs different paces? Like, what is that based off of? Average.
Oh yeah. So the you can't. In orienteering, it's very special. That's why I talk minutes, because you can't say like, obviously you get an estimate of how far it is. Like in a normal long distance, you can get like 15 kilometers of orienteering. But depending on the terrain, it can be everything from an hour to 90 minutes, because it's some terrains are flat and fast, and some are like shit and just so many trees and up and down, and or you have to go around a lot, and so. The goal is to hit a certain time for each distance, but it doesn't always hit exactly right.
What are some of your goals for orienteering? Like, do you have hopes of being like, I don't know, top 10 or top 5 in the country for making an orienteering team? Like, do you have specific goals around it?
Yeah, I love training, so that's a big motivator for me. I love training, and I love like developing my physical performance, and I love competing when I'm in good shape. So that's like enough for me. But I have some goals. Like I would be happy to qualify for a World Cup at one time. And last autumn I got selected for something called Euro meeting. It's like a B national team event. So that was very big for me to go there and compete for Sweden in orienteering. And that was the first time since I was a junior. I ran a few junior world championships, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm not like putting all my time into it to become the world champion. But I take a few parties, and I do a beer mile once in a while, and I've got school and stuff too. So it's like, it's just a hobby.
Yeah. How many hours per week would you say you train for it?
Right now, when I'm just running, maybe 10 to 12 hours a week. But when I'm doing like other stuff, cross country skiing and stuff, I can be up to everything between 12 and 16 hours a week, maybe. That's in good periods. Then you get injured or sick or whatever. So
yeah. And how often do you do track races or road races, or are you staying away from that for the most part, strictly orienteering?
Yeah, I usually stay away from it because I tend to get injured when I run too much track. But I think it's really fun. So in winter when I feel for it, sometimes I just go for like try to do a good 3K time or so, and then I do track maybe once a week. And before the Beer Mile World Champs, I had a few good track sessions this autumn, just to get some speed in the legs. And I think it's fun to set good times too. But I never I don't train for it. I do it just to see how the shape is.
When you do most of your training runs, is that like trail runs? Are you going up and down mountain terrain? Where do you do most of your base runs?
Yeah, good question. Like a normal week, it varies a lot. But a normal week, I do maybe 1 or 2 sessions of orienteering, like with a map in the forest, and then maybe 60% of the sessions is just trail running, and the rest is flat asphalt running, and maybe one or two cross-country ski sessions, like 2 hours, just for aerobic fitness. And I did strength training because everybody has told me it's good, like, basic core. But 2 years ago, I realized, like, I'm a grown up now. I can do whatever I want, and I fucking hate it. So I'm gonna quit it. So
I respect that. Yeah, I feel like a couple of years ago, I realized, I was like, you know what? Like, everyone could have a 6-pack, but pizza and beer just tastes so good. Like, it's not gonna happen. When you train for orienteering, when you go on those runs, I'm curious, like, are there preset paths, or do you have to like plan out your route and then like execute on it?
Yeah. So that's a big part of the challenge, is that you plan your route between each of the controls. So you get a map, and you're supposed to get to here, to here, to here, to here, and you plan the routes in between the controls. So and that's a big part of the game, to choose the right routes. You can go, maybe it's a big hill in the middle, and you can go straight over it, or you can go around it on a path. So you have to decide.
When you're just training, are there like preset
controls?
Preset controls and things, like courses basically that you go train on? Or when you're doing it, are you like making up your own, like you have your own map and you're making up your own like checkpoints or controls to run between?
No. In the club which I'm in here in Trondheim, we have a really good community for it. So there's like 100 people doing it, students. So we take turns, and every week maybe one person makes a course, and also put out physical controls in the forest, so when you're in the right place, right? And then everybody goes out and does that course, and he prints the maps and everything, and then we take turns. So you just have to do it once in a while.
Got it.
I feel like that's why it's not big in America, because I feel like people would steal the controls.
People would do something to like vandalize them or like screw with people and move them around or whatever. Yeah. No, that sounds really fun. Like the community behind it, that would be, I don't know, that'd be something to look forward to go out and train. For some reason in my head, I was just thinking like you were just out like running in the timber by yourself, and you're like, I'm going to go run to like that tree that's on this map, like, you know, 4 miles away or something, and try to get there as quick as I can.
No, it's with a map. If I want to train technically, I do it with a map. Otherwise, it's just trail running.
And so when you do like, especially for the championships or like the bigger events, are you allowed to kind of survey the course beforehand? Is that part of the lead up to it?
That's a good question. No, we're not. It's that has become a big issue, because it's a lot about honor. Like you're not allowed to walk in the actual forest like 1 or 2 years before a big competition. They say this forest is like banned from training in for every orienteer, so you don't do it, and definitely not on the courses that are the champs. But they are very like secret until the champs. But China hosted a World Cup for the first time now. I think it was the military world champs or something, and suddenly like a Chinese girl won it, and the Chinese guy was third, and they had never been competing before. And they dug into this, and they found out that they had put up like small trails in the forest that were secret, that weren't on the map, that they had like went out and practiced the course beforehand, and like there were people like showing them into the controls and stuff. It was crazy. So you can cheat. But it will be very obvious for us who have done it for 10 years.
Right. So when you when you look at the map, do you see elevation too? Is that how you can see like, oh, I could either go over this hill or I could go take like a longer route around it?
Yeah. It's mapped. The elevation is a very crucial part of it. It's like brown contour lines. Maybe it's in those. But it's very detailed. It's not like a
picture. I need to find a picture.
We'll pop up a picture in the video version to show what a map looks like. Because we haven't seen one. Yeah, they're very detailed. I looked one up before this. It's very, very, very detailed. It's funny because I'm thinking about most people. This is probably true of the whole world, but like especially in the US, like people, I don't know if people know how to like tell directions anymore or figure anything out for themselves, because you just like put it in Google Maps and you're like following directions blindly, and you like most people don't even know east, west, north, south anymore, and like let alone trying to figure out how to get somewhere without like their watch or their phone telling them. So I feel like people are just going to get worse and worse at orienteering like naturally over time, or people would not be able to get into this because they just like suck at figuring out directions from a young age. I feel like at a young age, you need to like, you have to have that like explorer mindset a little bit and learn like how to tell directions to some extent. And I don't know. Yeah, most people just don't learn that growing up anymore.
Yeah, true. But I don't take any pride in like doing it in my normal life. It's just like, it's a sport for me. It has nothing to do with my average life either. When I'm driving a car, I let someone else read the map. It's not like it's not very special to me.
You don't take it to the car as well, and like orienteering and just
that actually is a thing in the US, kind of.
Orienteering?
Yeah, so I forget when
like
it first.
every Fast and Furious movie.
I forget when it first started, but there's actually like a record in the United States for how many hours it takes you to drive across the entire country.
Right.
And so people will like fill up just like liters and liters and liters of gas, put it in their trunk, and like siphon it out into their car's gas tank so that they don't have to stop. And it's like probably, I don't know, it's something crazy, like over a day straight of driving. It's like something like 30 hours maybe, and they average like 135 miles per hour over the entirety of the trip.
Yeah, you got to hope that you don't get police pulling you over and ruining your whole.
I think they usually have like a ton of radar and like whatever else.
To detect where they're at. So as far as the beer mile, then we talked about like orienteering goals. Do you have any beer mile goals going forward that you're trying to hit?
Yeah, I would love to beat the Swedish record of Marcus leaving. It's 4:53 now, and I did up to the beer mile this autumn in Manchester. I had a go for it. I trained quite like what do you call it? I was going for it. So I did track sessions, and maybe I put 2 weeks in it, but I actually did track sessions just to be good in the beer mile, and I was in really good shape, and I did a 4:58 maybe 2 weeks before the race back home, just unofficial, and I was like, okay, I ordered dragonflies, and I was really going for it.
You're like, that's gonna get me there. Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had two more good track sessions, and the week before the World Champs, I felt like I jogged the beer mile in 5:15. I drank really well, and but I wasn't pushing that hard, and I was like, yeah, next week, here we go. But then I got sick, really sick, the 4 or 5 days leading up to the race, and I did 5:16 or something in the beer mile World Champs. So that was a bit of a disappointment. So I guess that's the goal for this year too. I have to put some weeks in it.
Yeah, Marcus's record is in next percents vaporflies. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's only fair to get the dragonflies in there. get those legal shoes for the track. No, that was Marcus's time is good. Marcus kept getting better, and that was a really good time. But you can definitely do it. You're fast enough to do it, and your chugging is good enough to do it. You got beautiful form. So, in the intro for this episode, we'll put up that video of you that you just put up on TikTok of you chugging, so people can see your form. Because it's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
When did you?
That's the 5:50 I was talking about.
Yeah, right. Okay.
When did you realize that you were like good at chugging beer, or was it before you were drinking beer that you're like, oh, I can just slam a ton of water at once?
No. I actually taught myself to it. I found out that I wanted to be good in Beerienteering, so I just started practicing with water, and I found out that I can like open my throat if I use this special technique, and I practiced for a long time actually to be able to do it like consistently. In the beginning, I was just making it 50% of the time and then just coughing the rest. But
yeah,
so it's a learned.
It is a learned trait. It is a learned.
Natural.
I don't think it's hard to get the technique down out of the bottle. Yeah. You can't do it the first time. I don't know, because so many people just like turn it vertical the first time and then it makes a bunch of foam, or you just get halfway through and like you need to take a break for air because you're just not used to it. So it's very hard. Like I don't know. I've never seen anyone master it the first time, but
no, exactly.
So how would you describe your outside of the beer bottles and you being good at chugging those, I've also seen you chug a lot of pints as well, and you're very good at chugging pints. Is that a similar thing where you just started practicing like opening your throat and that's how you got really good at the pint? Because I think the pint is what's more impressive to me. Because I cannot chug that fast. Like I can't open my throat like you do out of a pint. It's insane how fast you can drink it.
Yeah, so that's the big advantage I have when the in a bottle, the bottle is in Swedish we say, or in Norwegian we say flaskehalsen, and flaskehalsen, like that comes out badly here, but the bottle the bottle is limiting how fast the beer pours out, right?
Yeah.
But in a glass it doesn't. So then it's my throat that limits, and that's when I have my big advantage because I just open up, so it just goes down. Right. I've seen people do it faster than me on Instagram and TikTok, but it's not many people.
Yeah. You're getting up there with Ronnie Deutsche.
Yeah. What's your have you ever done a Chunder Mile?
No, I haven't.
You would crush the world record in that.
I think you would,
because I was taking like 5 seconds per pint, I think, when I did that, and my time was 4:53, and I was not in like super great running shape either. So, and then it took me like 5 seconds a pint, maybe 6 seconds on a couple of the pints. So I feel like you could do those in like 3 seconds for each one with the stop, and then run way faster than what I did.
Well, what's the world record? Do you have the world record?
Yeah, 4:53. Like,
I have to run really quick.
Yeah, but I think you could. I think the Chunder Mile could be as fast as the Beer Mile world record, because you can chug it faster out of a pint. The only hard part is that you have more volume, so it's like harder to run the last 2 laps.
And there's no penalty lap for puking.
But there's also no penalty for puking. So like if you have to puke on lap 3 or 4 and just keep running, you can do that too. So that should be your one. When the weather's nicer, you need to you're in shape. Get out to the track and give that one a go. You'd crush it.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to give that a go. Yeah, for sure.
So how about it? Do you want to show the people chug and show them how you do it? Yeah, for sure. Do you want to see an Impossible Chug? Let's see an Impossible Chug. Yeah, the Impossible Chug got you famous on Instagram, so let's do it.
I think my phone is up now. I think I need to put it in standing view just to be able to see it, because it's a bit
tall. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Should I take the backstory first?
Yes.
Yeah, let's hear the backstory on the Impossible Chug.
So backstory is, you know Andy Norman. He's an English guy, beer miler, really good guy, love him. He has a quite big account on Instagram where he's like trying out beers and rating them, called IPA Adventures, and he has quite a big follower group, which he challenged to a chug competition, like a tournament. So I invited, I think it was 200 people or something doing it. So we were set up face to face or head to head, and just chugging beers in timed. And I was all right. I got onto I think it was the semi-final or something. And then it was a 2-beer chug, and I had exactly the same time as the other guy I was facing. So we both had like, I don't know, 10 seconds or something for 2 pints. And he had to come up with something to like differ us. So he had heard of this trick that's been done on English bars, which is called the Impossible Chug. And the thing you do is you have 2 glasses. One is standing upside down, and you put the beer in the other one. And then you have to. So it's like he put it out like it was a. You had to understand how to do it too. So you put the beer in this glass, and then you have to drink it from this glass without touching this with your hands. So I brought a Guinness just for Emil.
You're gonna chug Guinness.
A Guinness, baby. Let's go.
I've never tried with a Guinness before, but hopefully it works. I did it actually because it has less carbonation, so
true.
It doesn't flow over that easily. But yeah. All right. So the thing is, you have to lift this glass with your mouth, like suck it in with vacuum and lift it up. It took me like 10 tries or something. I crushed like 4 glasses and drank 10 beers or something. But I alcohol 3 beers though. So you lift it up with your mouth, hold it in your mouth, pour the beer over, and then you have it in your mouth with beer in it, and you turn the other glass around upside down, put it underneath, and then push the glass over on top of it, and bring it down, and then you bite the glass and chug it with no hands.
How long did it take you to figure out, like, so the rule was that you can't touch the pint glass with your hands. So like, how long did it take you to figure out the method?
Yeah, Andy found out that he had to help us because no
one could figure it out.
He posted a video of him doing it, so that's how we figured it out. But then I spent maybe 1 or 2 hours practicing.
Got it.
And I finally did it, but I still don't have very much hit rate. Sometimes the beer pours out, the glass crashes. So this is going to be a fun live stream.
All right. If you're listening to the audio only of this podcast, make sure you're watching on Spotify or YouTube for the video version. Yeah. Impossible Chug incoming.
So what gave me an edge in the end was that I figured out that if I dry my tongue with a piece of paper before, I get much more like effect on the glass, so I can lift it easier.
Ooh, man, look at these tips
and tricks.
Let's go. Oh, yes.
Oh, shit.
Yes, US Beer Mile team, let's go.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
We're ready, let's do it.
Okay.
Man, I've never been so fired up at 10:45 in the morning.
Beautiful pour. Oh man.
Oh, I feel like I would drop it instantly.
Look at that Guinness. Get the transfer. Oh baby.
Holy
yes.
Shit.
Oh, money.
God. That was incredible. Oh my
Dang.
God.
So how often do you fail now? You looked like it was smooth. You had it down. Are you well practiced at this point?
Well, so the thing was I posted the video of me doing it, and I obviously went on to the that was the quarterfinal. So I went on to the semi-final, and I lost at some guy because it was 3 pints and he was a monster. But then somebody was like, this video is so crazy, you have to post it. So I posted it on Instagram. I sent it to an account called Drunk People Doing Things.
Yep.
Yes.
And they posted it, and it got like 4 million views in a few nights.
Yeah.
And like 2,000 comments or something, and I got so many DMs and followers and stuff, and it just boomed. And then it has like kept going viral for 2 years now. Like it has been posted.
Yeah, it keeps popping
once
back
in a
up.
while everywhere.
Yeah, it keeps getting reposted with just like a different song in the background, but it's the same video over and over again.
Yeah. So back to your question, how many times I do it? I have been asked at so many parties to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I think the percentage is quite high now. I know how to do it if I get the right glasses. That's the thing. But I have failed for sure. I do fail once in a while.
So when you fail, the beer just all spills all over you, I'm assuming?
Yeah, sometimes I don't get the glass up. Like when pulling it up, it just like boom goes down again. And sometimes and the crucial part is like putting it over on the other glass. Then
the
when
transfer,
it can
just,
the transfer, yeah. But the chugging
that's
goes. That's 100% chugging. It goes down.
Man, we'll have to give that a go.
I'll practice that. I think wait. Can I see hold up the pint glass again that you use? Is there like a lip on the bottom of it, or? Oh no, it's standard. Okay, because I have a glass just like that, and I have the Stein, the mug too. So I think I have the right tools for it. I just need to. I'll practice. I'll try it.
Yeah.
Okay. So dry the tongue is the trick. Okay.
This took me. I've tried teaching people this at parties too, but it took me a while to learn it too. But people tend to like suck it up at this part, but you're actually doing it this side, like the front side. Oh. So you bend over it.
You have to get over it to the front. Okay. Yeah.
Nice. So many small tricks that makes
that probably
work.
makes it easier for the transfer too.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one. Well, we will do right now for any listeners that post a video on Instagram doing the Impossible Chug successfully and tag us in it. We'll send them something.
Yeah, we'll send them something.
We'll send them something, and we'll pick one person who does it the best, and we'll send them something more expensive.
Pit Vipers?
Yeah, we'll send them Pit Vipers.
Sure.
How about that? Okay. So whoever does the Impossible Chug, Pit Vipers coming at you.
I feel like we should rename this from the Impossible Chug to the Emil Chug.
Yeah, you should just be called your Chug now.
You kind of own it.
I want to give Andy some creds though. He was the one making it viral, really. So creds to Andy Norman.
Shout out Andy Norman. IPA Adventures.
So does he hold the chugging contest every year still?
I don't know. No, I think it was one time. But he should make a new one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
well, it was a pandemic thing.
Okay. We'll put some money behind it. That was 200 people doing that.
Oh yeah, it was impressive. And it was coming down to like people were chugging pints. It was like, 3.3 seconds for a pint versus like 3.4, and it was like so close for all the chugs to try to measure it. It was hard to tell who was faster.
Yeah.
It was insane. So are you a good volume chugger too? Like, can you chug 6 pints in a row or 4 pints in a row, or are you more speed?
Yeah, I think I could, yeah, but I don't do it often. But I tried a liter once in a while, like a liter of beer, and I do it pretty quickly if I get a good glass. Like 5 seconds or something.
That's really promising for the Chunder Mile.
It is promising. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Was like, all right, if you can chug a liter in one go, like you could definitely chug 4
Now
pints.
I'm thinking maybe not this year, but like the next World Championships, there should be like it should be like 3 days.
It'd be super fun if it was more like a beer Olympics. It's like Beer Mile, Chunder Mile, the beer 4x4.
Yeah.
You could do Beerienteering. There's probably something else you could come up with too.
Because half the time everyone's doing like a beer mile the day before anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people do a beer mile the day before anyway, just for fun. So why not make it an official, like instead of each race instead of it being all in on just the beer mile race, it could be like scoring points across all the events.
And then the team scoring could be pretty interesting too.
It could be really good. Yeah. That'd be fun. I would bet on
Norway or Sweden.
Yeah, I think I would, because we would not be as good at Beerienteering, and I don't know about the Chunder Mile either. I feel like Europeans would be better at that too.
What time do you think you would do in a Chunder Mile now in the World Champs?
I think if I was in peak fitness, I could do more like 4:45 maybe, but that's probably the fastest because I just can't chug. Like if I could chug them each in 5 seconds, that's 20 seconds, and run like a 4:20 mile is like pretty hard when you have that much beer. Yeah. So I'd say that would be like probably 4:45 would be about the fastest I could go.
But is it allowed to get the carbonation up before?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Like on the table? Yeah, right. Then it makes much easier because the carbonation is the problem, right? When you run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so you just feel full. You don't really burp a lot. You just feel really full, which is it's weird. It's just like you feel like you have a bowling ball in your belly.
Yeah, I feel like that one might have to be like the last day of competition.
Chunder Mile.
do you remember?
Maybe not though, because the Chunder Mile you like guarantee puke. If you don't puke during, you like puking afterwards is pretty easy because it's so much beer. So you could honestly put that earlier because you just like get it all out.
You puked quite a bit after yours.
Oh
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't.
I think you're less drunk after a Chunder Mile than after a beer mile.
I was the opposite because I didn't puke afterwards.
Yeah. So you got drunker.
Yeah.
For that.
Oh, you did it too, Adam?
Yeah. Oh, I got creamed.
He was bad at it.
So bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Adam can't do as much volume. I think, would you do like 7 minutes or something, 8 minutes? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He's not a good volume guy.
I need to learn how to open my throat. How many months or years did it take you to do that?
Oh, I can give you a hint. Like, do you know how to burp on demand? Like,
yeah, it's like sucking air. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is you suck in air into your stomach, and that's basically what I do, but with liquid. So you just practice that muscle that like creates a vacuum in your stomach.
The air. Okay. I've never been told that, because I used to like in grade school, always like burping on command. That's just like what you do, or like the armpit farts and then burping on command.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So maybe that's the secret. I'll have to try that this weekend.
Yeah, that's how I started practicing. So I tried trying hitting that muscle when you have a bottle of water there, and then just it goes down. It goes down really quickly once you get to open it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. For anyone watching the video right now, I promise I'm not like making sex faces. Like I'm opening my mouth, I'm trying to feel the muscle. Trying to feel the muscle. I promise I'm not doing anything inappropriate here.
By the way, I got so many comments on that video that went viral. There was like homoerotic references because I'm like sucking on a thing. Yeah. It's so funny. I even got like private messages like, "Oh, can you blow me like that?"
Oh my god! The internet is a wonderful place.
Internet is wonderful.
Don't suck on things on the internet.
People will make fun of you. So it's Friday night right now in Norway. What do you have planned for tonight? Any big plans, or are you staying in?
It's quite early now. It's 6 o'clock, but I got a beer in, so I'll probably ask the guys around if they want to have some more. Usually on Fridays we have a few beers, but not going out or anything.
Cool.
Actually, I'm going home. I'm going home to Sweden tomorrow to my parents.
Oh, nice.
To do some competitions in Sweden.
How long has it been since you were last in Sweden?
I was there at Christmas. Yeah.
Okay, so not a super long time. How long does it take to travel in between the two for two geographically challenged people?
Yeah. If you fly, it takes 1 or 2 hours, or like 4 hours door to door. But sometimes I drive, it takes like 10 or 12 hours.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
Okay, it's pretty far. I thought it was closer than that for some reason, but yeah. No.
Yeah, I live in north of Norway, and my parents live in like south middle Sweden. So
yeah,
gotcha.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, it's exciting to have you on. We might need to do some more. Yeah, we might need to figure out like some sort of chug competition.
Oh, absolutely.
But you've inspired. I'm going to work on the pint chugging a little bit, and I'll see if I can hit the Impossible Chug and see if any of our listeners can get the Impossible Chug down. I don't know. It'll be tough, but if they do it, we'll send them some glasses. So.
Hell yeah.
Good stuff. Well, anything else you want to shout out or plug or
let's get you some TikTok followers.
Let's get you some TikTok followers too.
Oh no, I TikTok. I haven't had TikTok until last year, and I just I should create an account, put some things out there. But I like TikTok. It's better than I thought. I thought it was just 15-year-olds dancing, but actually I've learned a lot from TikTok. There's some good things there. I heard a joke yesterday. Can I?
Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. You can add some laughters
the laugh track.
Yeah. Okay, you ready? My penis was in the Guinness Book of World Records. Then the librarian told me to take it out.
That's a good one. That's good. I like that. I feel like we should end the podcast with more jokes.
Just
more often.
More jokes.
I like that.
So TikTok, it has these algorithms that makes you get the videos that you want. So obviously, I'm into penises, I guess.
Penises and penis jokes.
Maybe penis jokes. I don't know, or just world records.
Oh man, good stuff. Well, thanks for coming on. We'll keep in touch. We'll get some sort of. once we master the Impossible Chug, then we'll get back in touch with you, and then we'll be worthy of another conversation. But until then, we're not worthy.
I like that.
Yeah, right. Oh, one more thing. Actually, I was anti-doping Norway was here yesterday, or a few days ago, because I live with two other top orienteers, like top blokes. They're like in the national team and stuff. They're really good, and they just came knocking on my door, and we were just eating dinner. And our apartment is like a student apartment that has been given on through generations in the orienteering group here in Trondheim. And it's designed as a banana bar. So we have a bar, and there's like bananas everywhere. And I have to show you, because he just came in there, opened the door, like, anti-doping Norway, you have to pee for me. And then he looked around, and he was like lifting down his glasses like, oh, this certainly does not look like top elite athletes live.
It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? We have this bar. I can show you.
Yeah, let's see it.
So is this what inspired the banana suit for the Chug video you sent in?
Yeah, for sure. Can I turn the...
Yeah, flip her around.
Can't make it work. I'll just film like this. All right. So it's the cheapest you get in Trondheim.
Oh, it went black.
Now, is it back?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So this is the room. We got our monkey over here, Lars. And then we have some bananas on the roof, eating table, and then the bar.
I love that the bar is a centerpiece. That's fucking awesome.
That's so good.
So imagine this guy coming in here like, I'm going to test Audun Heimdall, and where is he? The top athlete. And he looked around and, what the fuck is this?
It's like, I think I have all the information I need.
Yeah, these guys aren't doping. These guys are drinking and hurting themselves.
Yeah. So he told us a couple of funny stories about other people he have tested, like Petter Northug, for example. You know him, the cross-country skier. And then suddenly he just came up with a guy who's our friend. And he didn't know, and he was like, "Yeah, I was going to this guy who lives here," and we instantly knew who it was. And he was like, "Yeah, it was. I was looking into the. I hit the doorbell, but it didn't open, so I just was looking into the window, and he's sitting there gaming Fortnite in his underwear, and he couldn't hear me. So he basically just walked in, tapped him on the shoulder while he was sitting there gaming, like pee for me."
That's too good. That's too good. So you're not getting tested yet, though. You gotta up your level a little bit before you get tested.
Yeah. I'm not good enough. And also I'm Swedish, so they don't give a fuck about me. Yeah.
That's my goal. Someday I'm gonna be good enough at one of these sports to get drug tested. That's the goal.
That's a good goal. I like that.
Awesome. All right, Emil. Thanks for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
People are gonna love these.
Great podcast.
Yeah, people are gonna love these. People are gonna love the Chug and love the videos. We're gonna put some of those videos in the intro of you chugging, and we'll hype it up a little bit. But yeah, thanks for coming on. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, love to be on. Thank you, guys.
All right, enjoy your Friday night. Don't get your penis stuck in a library book.
Could you imagine just like, whoop.
You can control the pressure, I guess.
Pump it back up.
Have you ever fucked the 1858 first edition?
The British, the Encyclopedia Britannica. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been down bad.